Welcome back, casual gamers. It's time for this week's wrap-up. Let's kick this gaming news story off with the Switch 2 might have actually been leaked this time. Like, for real. So, a sneak peek of a Nintendo Switch 2 page popped up on a Japanese retailer's website. Looks like it's probably just a placeholder, but it adds to the growing signs that Nintendo's cooking up something new. The Switch 2 has pretty much been Nintendo's not-so-secret secret for a while now. Despite the pandemic possibly throwing a wrench in their release plans, industry insiders are thinking we might see the new console in 2024. The latest hint comes from Mecha Japan, the go-to for shipping Japanese goodies worldwide. They recently slipped in a Nintendo Switch 2 page on their site, caught by the eagle-eyed Reddit user Rex Van Dam. The page doesn't show much, but it does suggest that the console might drop this year, at least according to its placeholder release date, which is December 31st, 2024. Now, maybe Nintendo's already giving retailers a little something on the new console, or maybe it's just a placeholder gig. Either way, this isn't the first clue that the Switch 2 is getting closer. Just the other day, a GDC survey showed that a bunch of game studios are already working on games for the Switch sequel. Seems like Nintendo might have sent out those Switch 2 dev kits in 2023. And we all know about the supposed rumors about the Switch 2 privately being shown off at last year's Gamescom. Apparently, Nintendo showed it off behind closed doors to some VIPs, running things like the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 demo and a fancied up version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo usually drops new hardware around the holidays, but the Switch came out in March 2017. With it almost hitting the big 8, the idea of its successor making an entrance around its 7-year anniversary sounds pretty on point. If that pans out, we might be looking at a Switch 2 hitting the market in the summer of 2024, at least if history repeats itself with the 5-month gap between announcement and release. What do you guys think about these new Switch 2 details? I personally think that we should still wait until we get an official word from Nintendo, but let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Palworld is killing it on Steam right now. Palworld wasted no time climbing the Steam charts like a champ right after its early access debut, clocking in at over 1 million copies sold in just a few hours. It's like Pokemon, but with a serious arsenal, and gamers are all over this unique twist. Since Pocket Pair Games dropped the Palworld trailer in 2021, it's been the talk of the town. It's a multiplayer open-world survival game that throws in over 100 Pokemon-esque creatures, survival challenges, and a dash of base building. The difference between this and Pokemon, our creatures are gonna need guns. Lots of guns. Fast forward to now, Palworld is out and it's doing pretty darn good on Steam, even though it's still in early access. Developers shared that 1 million copies were sold in a mere 8 hours. At the time of making this video, Palworld's sitting at the top of the Steam seller list, leaving popular titles like Warframe, Counter-Strike 2, and Baldur's Gate 3 in the dust for the moment. It's also the 4th game with the most players on Steam, boasting over 300,000 players. Only CS2, Dota 2, and PUBG have more players for now. We might see those numbers climb even higher during this weekend. Palworld is also on Xbox Game Pass, where subscribers can dive into the action without shelling out extra cash. Microsoft's keeping silent on the numbers though, so we're kinda in the dark when it comes to knowing just how well Palworld is doing on Xbox. It'll be interesting to see if Palworld will keep riding the wave of popularity once the initial frenzy cools off. We've seen a bunch of Pokemon-like games hit the scene lately with varying success. Palworld's staying power hinges on whether its updates can keep players hooked for the long haul. Either way, a stellar launch is definitely a solid way to kick things off. Have you guys played Palworld yet? I've been playing it and it is addicting as hell. Let me know what you guys think about Palworld and if you're liking it so far. Ubisoft executive says gamers need to get comfortable with not owning your games. So just like how music and TV are all going digital, we kinda see the same thing happening with the gaming scene. Some people aren't too thrilled about it, worried about losing that tangible connection and ownership. But surprise, Philip Tremblay from Ubisoft put his 2 cents in, stating that gamers should start getting comfy with the idea of not really owning their games. In a chat with Gaming Industry Biz, Philip shared his thoughts on the whole digital future situation, especially honing in on Ubisoft Plus. Tremblay thinks we should all take a page from the music and DVD playbook. Now it's time for gamers to make that same mental shift. He's quick to reassure us that not owning a game doesn't mean losing your progress or the time you've poured into it. You might not have a game box to display proudly on your shelf, but hey, your achievements and in-game feats are still intact, right? He says he gets where gamers are coming from on the ownership front, but he's all about services like Ubisoft Plus letting you hop into your games when you feel like it. I mean, sure, it sounds cool, but there are a couple issues people have pointed out with the subscription model. Games can come and go on subscription services like the recent exit of Grand Theft Auto 5 from Xbox Game Pass. Subscribers might find themselves losing access to certain titles every now and then. And then there's the issue of games getting pulled from online stores due to licensing hiccups, like the OG Alan Wake and even Ubisoft Ubisoft's The Crew. The Crew is set to get pulled on March 31st, 2024. Despite these speed bumps, it looks like publishers are kinda dead set on steering players towards subscription services. They've seen the goldmine it's been for streaming platforms like Netflix and Disney. In the UK, subscription revenue made up a whopping 89% of the video-based content market last year. Whether the gaming realm makes a digital leap as smoothly remains to be seen. Well then, how do you guys feel about Philip Tremblay's comments and the possibility of not being able to own our games in the future? I'm personally not that big of a fan. As mentioned, there's the possibility that some games that I might enjoy playing will get pulled from the platform. I would much rather just have it in my possession and have the option to play it whenever I want, rather than have to wait for them to put it back on the platform after they remove it. But that is my take. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it in the comments. Alright guys, it's time for the games coming out next week. Howl. Howl is a turn-based tactical folktale set in medieval times. A sinister howling plague has ravaged the land, turning all who hear it into feral beasts. You play as a deaf heroine plunging into danger in search of a cure. Coming out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, January 23rd. Enshrouded, you are Flameborn, last ember of hope of a dying race. Awaken, survive the terror of a corrupting fog, and reclaim the lost beauty of your kingdom. Venture into a vast world, vanquish punishing bosses, build grand halls, and forge your path in this co-op survival action RPG for up to 16 players. Coming to PC, January 24th. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Join rookie attorney Apollo Justice and his mentor, the legendary Phoenix Wright, in this collection of 3 games. This title features 16 episodes, including previously DLC-only episodes, and supports English, French, German, Japanese, Korean, and traditional and simplified Chinese. Coming out on PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch, January 25th. Go Mecha Ball. Load up and roll out in this twin-stick shooter with roguelike progression. Blast your way through arcade-style levels using pinball-style physics mixed with an arsenal of devastating weapons. Defeat waves of enemy bots, battle big bosses, and upgrade your mech between runs. Coming out on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, January 25th. And now the big ones. Like a Dragon, Infinite Well. 2 larger-than-life heroes, Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu, are brought together by the hand of fate, or perhaps something more sinister. Live it up in Japan and explore all that Hawaii has to offer in an RPG adventure so big it spans the Pacific. Coming out on PC, Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series X, and PS5, January 26. And last but not least, Tekken 8. Experience the next chapter in the longest-running video game storyline with 32 redesigned unique fighters and master the all-new heat system to crush your opponents. Enjoy high-fidelity graphics developed for the new generation of hardware to showcase every moment of impact and aggressive super moves. Coming out on PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5, January 26. Thanks for stopping by, guys. If you enjoyed my content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll have more videos out for you in the future. I'm gonna go back to playing Palworld. Until then, this has been your friendly casual gamer, hoping that you stay as casual as I do, and I'll see you next time.